Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? It is a beautiful, dare I say the word, spring day here in West Virginia, and I am so excited. I am home from a wonderful, wonderful long weekend with Top's friends in Oklahoma. I got a chance to go to their SRD, and it was just absolutely magnificent. Magnificent. They used a superhero theme, and part of the theme was how to be your own superhero. And we were all encouraged to, on the fun evening, to represent our superhero. And the one that I had chosen was Wonder Woman's mother, the Queen of the Amazon. And that was a lot of fun to get into that character and get to think about how I would do things if I happened to have all of her superpowers and her forces around her. Another thing that really resonated with me while I was at SRD is just how incredibly difficult it has been to be without all my Tops peeps. I absolutely have missed being with everyone so very much. And while I was thinking about that, I got to thinking about why I was missing everybody so much and exactly what it was I was missing. And I began to just watch, to listen, to observe, to think about what was unfolding right in front of my eyes that makes being with each other in Tops so incredibly important in our journey. We come together every week, absolutely, and we try to help support and encourage each other in our journey to be our healthiest, best self. That everyone knows. But what is so apparent 99.9% of the time, we do it with incredible, incredible kindness. And that's what was manifesting itself in front of my eyes, was this incredible kindness that Tops members give to each other whenever they are together in one way or the other, be it as members in the same chapter, at local events, at regional events, on Facebook. 99.9% of the time, we try to find the way to help and support with compassion and kindness. And that got me to thinking a little bit about one of my favorite books in recent history. You may have read it. It's by Catherine Stockett. And the title of the book is The Help. And the key players in there are a young girl named Skeeter and a lady named Constantine. Constantine actually raised Skeeter in the household, and if you're familiar, you know the background story. The story was set up in the South in the early '60s, and Constantine was a life force for Skeeter when she was growing up. Skeeter was a chubby little girl, and her mama was not always as kind and supportive as she could have been for Skeeter when she grew up. But Constantine was always there for her, always. And she would look at that little girl straight in the eye, and you could just see the love pouring out of her heart. And she would say, "You is kind, you is smart, you is important." And she helped that little girl who didn't get a lot of boistering to esteem build. She knew that in someone's eyes, she was, in fact, very, very important. And that helped her to believe in herself. And she went on to become a strong, independent woman thanks to the help, love, and support of Constantine. And Another quote from that book that I always like, and it again was said by Constantine, is all I am saying is kindness has no boundaries. And I saw that manifest itself while I was traveling throughout the United States on my way to and from uh, Oklahoma's SRD, because we had a lot of challenges with some of the flights. Some were delayed, some equipment broke, um, and that's always unsettling and upsetting. But I don't know what was in the air over this long weekend, but I hope it stays in the air with the spring blossoms, because everyone that I encountered was so kind. The agents at the airport, the operators at the airport, the fellow passengers at the airports. And it occurred to me that every single person there was making a choice, because people could gripe and complain, they could rant and rave, they could make it difficult for the people that were trying to help them get on their journey, but they smiled at each other and they used grace with each other and they used patience with each other, and they actively did everything they could to make a bad situation as comfortable as it could be for each other. And the smiles they shared were just absolutely magical. You could see someone go up to a gate agent, and as the interaction began, and the agent looked the person in the face and smiled and began trying to help them through the process, everything relaxed and calmed. And this ripple effect would go through the entire gate area where we were all sitting. And when I got on my last flight home last night, which was supposed to have left at 5:50, it was 10:30 in the evening. And when we got on the plane, we all applauded the gate agents who had made it possible for us to spend a very trying day in as good a state of mind as we possibly could. And when we all were happy when we got on the plane, not happy that it had been delayed, of course, but happy that we had had time together and had handled it with grace, with patience. And then when I came home, I thought, I need to look up some things about kindness and just see what I can find. And here are some of the things that I came up with to start our day together in a kindly manner. Excuse me just one second. Thank you. I still have a little bit of travel in my voice. The first quote I came across was, "Love and kindness are never wasted. They always make a difference. They bless the one who receives them, and they bless the giver of the act of kindness." Wow, isn't that profound? You feel better when you're being kind towards someone else. How many of you have ever paid something forward and nobody knew about it except you? And what a good feeling that is in your heart when you can do that. Another one was, what wisdom can you find that is greater than kindness? Wow, that's a thinker quote. What wisdom can you find that is greater than kindness? You can always choose whether you are going to be kind or not. And it is wise, I think, all of us realize that, to choose to always err on the side of being kind to somebody, if that is one of the choices open to you. And it can always be a choice that is open to you. The next one I came up with, and I picked out 10 just random quotes because there are many, many random quotes about kindness. You can accomplish by kindness what you cannot by force. And I guess I think about that a lot, about stubbornness in people. If you make it a forced choice for somebody, you may not be able to get the outcome that you desire. But if you're kind and gentle and persevere with them, they may actually come around to your way of thinking. And everybody benefits when that happens. Kindness can become its own motive. We are made kind by being kind to others. Wow, that's really profound. Kindness can become its own motive. You're kind because you really want to be kind, because you like the feeling, the benefit of being kind to someone else. And that in turn makes us more kind. It's just a win 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 explosion of life. Just imagine if everybody, before they acted, chose to think about, is this something kind that I'm about to do or say or act upon? Could I do this in a more gentle, kind way and still get my message across? Why would I choose to be hateful or nasty when I can choose to accomplish the same purpose by being kind? Human kindness has never weakened the stamina or softened the fiber of a free people. A nation does not even have to be cruel to be strong. And that's a quote from Franklin Roosevelt. And I think of our TOPS members in our chapters as a microcosm, a little nation unto itself. And we're stronger together than we are separately. And we come together and bind ourselves together to accomplish great things with kindness, with strength, with perseverance, but with kindness. The most powerful, least costly, and most underrated agent of human change is, in fact, said to be kindness. I think all of us know that's true. You know, sometimes with a random act of kindness, particularly, you're just uplifted totally because it was so unexpected. And it makes you feel the world is a better place for you and me when we go through it in a kind fashion. Even President Ronald Reagan said, we can't help everybody, but everybody can help someone. And that's very true. You know, I live in a little town in West Virginia. I don't have a broad, interactive circle of people with whom I can practice this wonderful gift face to face. You know, outreach expands sometimes when we're able to Zoom and talk with each other like we are today. But normally in my little town, I only have a small nucleus of people. But I can make sure those interactions are just as special as I can possibly make them, and always based on a kind heart. Kindness begins with the understanding that all of us are struggling together. Each of us has a personal story, and that personal story most often, has challenges and difficulties that others know nothing about. It's, walk a mile in my shoes. Well, until you've put on somebody else's shoes and tried to pick up their load, you don't know everything they're going through because all you see is basically the surface. So, an act of kindness is always welcomed and warranted. Amelia Earhart, who was the first woman aviator, said, a single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees. You just never know where that one act of kindness that created the ripple is going to find a place to drop that seed, grow roots, and blossom, and benefit those yet to come who we may never even know or see. Whatever Whenever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. And that comes from the great philosopher Seneca. We always, every day in some way, can find a way to be kind. It is amazing to me after traveling through the airport for 2 days on very challenging travel schedules, how kind people can choose to be and how light your step becomes each time one of them gives you the gifts of a kind act. I got into Oklahoma after some delays getting to this to Tulsa, and Marie said, "How's it going?" And I said, "Great. It was a long trip, but it was great, and it was made so by the people that crossed my path along the way, and how we chose to help and support each other as challenges occurred and were dealt with and resolved." So my spirit was really uplifted by everything I had seen. And then unexpected kindness is the most powerful, least costly, and most underrated agent of human change, is the one I'd like to leave you with. Kindness is powerful if it costs you almost nothing and you see the benefits. Seems to me everybody should decide today, I am going to do one kind thing for somebody just because. Maybe it's just because I want to see a smile on somebody else's face. Maybe it's because I want to feel a smile in my heart. Um, and that's the best feeling, really. When you do something good for somebody else and you see them light up, that just, to me, lights me up as well. Uh, I went out early this morning, and before I came, I sat down and talked to you and had a walk because today is so pretty. And as I'm walking around the park, there were a lot more people out today because of the weather. And I practiced my simple little acts of kindness as I went around my route. And when I got through, I was so excited to come here and sit and talk with you today because I just felt absolutely awesome. It was probably one of the best walks I've had since the weather began to break a little bit and I could get back out walking the path and the flowers were out. It was the floor of the area where I walk, and when I say floor, I mean the grass, is full of violets right now. And that just made me think of my mom because my mom absolutely loved two flowers more than any in the world, and they were violets and lilacs. And this is the season of the year where those are just in profusion everywhere in my area of the country. So I was feeling great anyway, and I had had all these experiences, and then to be able to share the experiences by acting myself in a good way toward others. I'm ready and energized and excited about whatever the day has to hold, and I hope you are too. I hope you're going to figure out an opportunity several times, not just one time, don't limit yourself, but several times today to just simply be especially kind to somebody you see. So go out there, have a great day, enjoy it thoroughly, enjoy the people that you meet that cross your path, share your smile with them. It costs you nothing, and it is probably the most treasured gift anybody will receive today is a wonderful smile. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye bye.